Hey up, it goes off suddenly, doesn't it? Hey up, it's Steve from Old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to episode 102 of Magnificent Mondays. And this week we're not doing Cocaine Bear. We're not doing cocaine. We're reviewing Cocaine Bear. So that should be fun. A film that is much better than it has any right to be, and the last movie of Ray Liotta, unfortunately. But that's what we're going to do. But before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe down there. Share the video, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Join us in the live chat if you're a subscriber. Follow the links in the description for stuff like merch, which I'm not wearing. Again, I forgot. Never mind. My books, if I can get hold of them. There they are. On Amazon, Kindle and paperback. Give them a whirl. One's a big thick one, one's a little thin one. What else? Become a member of the YouTube channel, and you get early access videos and exclusive videos. For members, I'll be uploading my audio commentary, my unofficial audio commentary for Cocaine Bear, probably tomorrow. So that'll be for members only. And super chats and super thanks are hugely appreciated. Right, so anyway, Snorter-Poopers Cubers here already. Saying, hello, humans and other critters. And Cocaine Bears, hello. And the Outcast Creative is here. What a wicked film. It is a good film, I must admit. It is a lot better than it has any right to be. Right, so, info about Cocaine Bear. It came out in 2023. 2023 was a pretty good year for films. What did we get that year? We got The Creator, we got Megan, we got this, and probably some others as well. Directed by Elizabeth Banks, the actress Elizabeth Banks. What was she called before that? I'm just curious. I'm just looking up. I'm not sure what you call that. Because she was saying in her audio commentary for the film, which I watched earlier on, that the first film that she was known as Elizabeth Banks in was, I forgot, something like Hot Summer. I forgot, whatever. Wet Hot American Summer. So what was she known as before that? I don't know. But anyway. Maybe Mitchell. Oh my, Elizabeth Irene Mitchell. Maybe she was Mitchell in that. I don't know. But anyway, right. Just let me check this. First film, a film called Surrender Dorothy. Is that a Wizard of Oz film? I don't know. No, it just says Elizabeth Banks. I have no idea. Anyway, it's not important. It doesn't matter. I'm just curious. Snorter-Pooper says, I'll have everyone know that my white fur is natural. It has nothing to do with cocaine. Same here. I've not been snorting. Honest. I wouldn't know where to get any, to be completely honest. I genuinely wouldn't. Anyway, directed by Elizabeth Banks, written by Jimmy Warden, produced by Lord and Miller of Lego Movie fame, and they did most of Solo, a Star Wars story, didn't they? Before they got fired. And then went on to do other things, didn't they? With great success. And stars Kerry Russell, O'Shea Jackson, I'm probably mispronouncing that, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Christian Convery, Alden Ehrenreich of Solo, a Star Wars story fame, excuse me, Brooklyn Prince, Isaiah Whitlock Jr., Margot Martindale, and as I said, Ray Liotta in his final film role, and also Alan Henry as the bear performer. Had a budget of about $30 million, made about $90 million at the box office, so it did okay. And it got decent reviews. Not like amazing, but decent reviews. So there we go, and it's out on Blu-ray, and it's on Amazon and YouTube and all them other places. You can rent it there and watch it. Right, so we'll get on with it, shall we? Obviously, we're not going to just watch the film. I'm sure I've forgotten something. I'm sure I have. Oh, happy Labour Day to everybody over in America land, and happy 1st of September to everybody else. It's the beginning of meteorological autumn today. Yay! Spooky season begins. Cool. And I have coffee. Hang on. Nearly cold, obviously. Right, So, obviously, we're not going to watch the film. This is a breakdown and review of said movie. We'll go through it in a series of stills. I'll still get a copyright claim because it's a Universal film. And Universal are the worst. But anyway. So we'll go through it in a series of stills. I'll try and remember stuff I have gleaned from the behind the scenes and the commentary that's on there. And what I've read in on what they call it, IMDb trivia and stuff like that. Right, so off we go. By the way, it's inspired by true events, really, loosely. It's probably one of the loosest adaptations of true events ever, maybe. I don't know, but anyway, so I'll pop myself down in the corner and we shall begin. Don't know what I'm doing. Where are we? There we go. How long have we been doing? What we on? Episode 102, and I still don't know what I'm doing. Anywho. Right, so, add to stage. Right, we're off. Jane playing. This is Jane by Jefferson Starship, which is a reference to Elizabeth Banks's first big film, Wet Hot American Summer. That plays in that film. Apparently. I don't know, I've not seen it, but that's what she says. So, anyway, so here we go. So here we see the Universal logo. Copyright claim incoming, no doubt. Right, so we begin with the titles. Right, so here's Matthew Rhys, who is the husband of Kerry Russell. No nepotism involved. He's playing... I've forgotten already. I've watched this film, twice today. Pardon me. And... read loads of stuff, and I still can't remember people's names. Andrew Thornton, I think. Is it Andrew Thornton? Yes, Andrew C. Thornton. That's who he's playing. Who a real-life character. I think the only real-life character, apart from the bear, in this film. And he's playing him, and he was like a corrupt law enforcement officer and drug runner, and he's on this plane, and it's going down somewhere over America. Kentucky, Georgia, that area. And he's dumping all his cocaine that he's got from the Colombians. So he's dumping all that. You see, it's all in colourful bags with rainbow straps. These are actually supposed to be, this design of bag was supposed to be for the kids that we see in the film. And they thought, sod the kids, we'll use this for the drugs. Because it's all bright and we'll be able to see him easier in the woods. So that's what they're doing. Here he is, chucking it all out, and he falls out of the plane and plummets to his death. Apologies if you heard that. A car just tooted its horn outside. So here we go. We're over. I don't know where we're over here, but anyway, we get a card of information. Black bears are not motivated by territoriality. They will seldom attack humans in their vicinity. When they do attack, victims have a higher probability of surviving by fighting back rather than submitting. And then there's a source for it, and I thought, why did they put that? I don't know, but it says here, look, in a minute. There we go, source, Wikipedia. But this film's supposed to be set in 1985. Wikipedia wasn't a thing back then. You thought they put source, Encyclopedia Britannica, or just some made-up book. Anyway, they didn't. So, and it tells us here in a minute. There we go. Chattahoochee National Forest, Georgia, 1985. Although most of the film were actually filmed in Ireland, in County Wicklow and County Dublin, in the Republic of Ireland. And it's very nice. It's very nice. Anyway, so here we're seeing our first two characters. By the way, these parts of the film, the bit that we just seen with Andrew Thornton chucking the drugs out, and this part with these two hikers, tourists, whatever they are, weren't supposed to be at the beginning of the film. I don't know what actually was. They didn't say in the commentary. They just said these were a bit later in the film or after the opening part. I don't know what was supposed to be first. But anyway. So this couple, Elsa and Olaf, named for obviously the characters in Frozen, although she does call him Christopher, which is his real name, because I can't remember his real name, just bear with me. Because I'm hopeless. Christopher Hivju. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Who you may know from Game of Thrones. I can't remember the name of his character in Game of Thrones. Just bear with me. Tormund Giantsbane. There we go. Tormund he played in Game of Thrones. Anywho, I hope my audio's alright, by the way, because I've got a couple of windows open and StreamYard has been acting up a bit if you have more than like a couple of windows open. Hopefully I'm okay and I'm not like going like that. Anyway, and she is Hannah Hoekstra. He's Norwegian, she's Dutch. And Justine's here. Yay! Hello everyone, happy Labour Day. Hope everyone is well. Yes, we're all okay. Celebrating Labour Day. It's not anything here in the UK. It's just another day. The kids go back to school this week, but that doesn't affect me. But never mind. Anyway, where were we? Right. So obviously, I think she's supposed to be expecting because they're talking about kids' names, but they're a happy, loving couple hiking through Georgia / Ireland. But here they are. It's a lovely scenery. Anyway. But here they go. We can see on where they've been already. They've been to Ireland. Look, they've been to France. And they've been to Britain. No American flag on there, oddly enough. Which is where they are now. But never mind. So here they are hiking. Oh, right. Past a tree. We see one of them bags. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. So here they are. Looking over the Georgian countryside. I'm guessing this is some scenes. I don't know how many. I think Elizabeth Banks said there's like 4 scenes that were actually filmed in Georgia, or 4 shots, should I say, that actually filmed in Georgia. Maybe this was one of them. I don't know. Maybe it's a plate. Maybe it's CG. I don't know. But I can't imagine the Republic of Ireland looking like that. Maybe it does. I don't know. But anyway. So, here they are, being all loving, enjoying the view, and then they see a bear. See, that's the face you'd pull if you saw a bear, wouldn't it? Where is it? Come on, show us then. It takes a picture. Look, we have such good luck in nature. So there's the bear. And it sees there it is. And it's going to pop up and get them in a minute. Hang on. If it shows us, there it is. Not looking very happy is the bear, and it's a lady bear. It's a mummy bear. We don't see Daddy Bear in this film. Maybe they're saving it for the sequel if they do. Anyway, so no, he's got the Norwegian flag and the British flag. Looks like that's the Irish flag. Is it Irish Ireland or is that Italy? I think it's the Irish flag, isn't it? Anyway. And the Irish flag and the Italian flag are very similar, aren't they? Similar colours. Anyway. So they're going to run. They're going to run for it because it's going to come and get them. So off they go running. Trips up. The bear leaps over him, gets her, drags her off. There we go. Into the woods. Into the brush. And there you go. Drags her off. She's very pretty, I must admit. Oh, she's there. Oh, you can't see. Never mind. I'm going to get his first bit of gore because as we hear her screaming, oh, for Pete's sake, there we go. Her foot, or the lower part of her leg, her calf, arrives. So there we go. So he screams and runs off. Right, and then we cut to Pee Wee Herman. I can never bloody remember his name. Paul Rubens. In a commercial about don't take drugs. We also see Nancy Reagan, and I don't know who this next fella is. He's got a familiar face. Maybe Justin can tell me. I don't know who he is, but he looks familiar. I've seen him in something, but I don't know who he is. But anyway, this is an actual commercial from the 80s. And then we're going to watch the actual news thing about the death of Andrew Thornton. That says his parachute failed to open, and we've seen the actual news and thing. And then we cut to Ireland, Dublin, not doubling as Georgia, and the crime scene. Oh, the scene of the accident, I suppose you could say. And this is Isaiah Whitlock Jr. As Detective Bob Springs, who we're going to see through the film. And that behind him is Officer Reba, who is an Irish actress. What's her name? It's spelled Ayoola Smart, Ayoola. But if she's Irish, that could be pronounced anyway. It's probably pronounced Sharon or something like that. Because you know what Irish names are like. Anyway, but I love her hair. She's got amazing hair. But anyway, there's more to her than meets the eye. And no, she's not a transformer. And there it is. It looks well after, falling from a plane, doesn't it? That's like a slight cut on his forehead. Apart from that, it looks fine, but he's dead. So here we're learning that he was a cop who, went bad and worked for the drug runners, and they worked for Sid White, played by Ray Liotta, known drug trafficker with ties to Colombia, and he wants to solve the crime. But it means he's got to go to Georgia, because we're in Knoxville, Tennessee now. He's got to go to Georgia, which is out of his jurisdiction. Or as they say in The Matrix, juris my diction. Which I never really understood, but anyway. Oh, pardon me, sorry I'm burping, because I've had coffee. Justin says, sorry I missed Friday, went to see the 50th anniversary Jaws in 3D. It was great. Crack, it was 3D. Bought a chum bucket with some movie stuff on it and yellow buoy cup. That guy was someone famous. Forget who he is. Oh, the fella in the commercial. He looks, I've seen him in something, but I don't know what. But yeah, apparently Jaws, the special thing of Jaws, has been super successful, hasn't it? Number 2 at the box office, wasn't it, last week or something? Because it's an amazing film, one of the greatest films ever made. Anyway, right, so he's going to head to Georgia to solve it. But he's got a dog. And he wants Officer Reba to look after it. The dog called Rosetta or something like that. Excuse me. And Melvin's here from Quest RRC. Hey all. Hello. Welcome to the... Hang on. I haven't done my thing for a while, have I? Where is it? There we go.
I said welcome to my show.
There we go. I haven't done that for a while. Anyway, he wants her to look after his dog. Are we going to see it? Are we going to see the dog? Is it there? Are they going to show us? Pete's sake. There we go. His little dog. I think it's Rosetta or something like that. The dog's real name is New York. An Irish dog, obviously. There's a few Irish actors in this film, but not that many, oddly enough. But the dog's Irish. And there's an identical one at the end of the film. But it's not the same dog, and that was called Paris. I'm guessing they're owned by the same people, naming their dogs after cities. Justin says it was really crowded. That's also Apollo 13 is coming back in a few weeks for 30th anniversary. Got tickets. Cool. I bet that's good at the cinema. I didn't see that at the cinema. I bet that's good. Anywho, so, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on with this dog. And Bob, has he inherited it? I don't know. He loves the dog. Has he had it? You get the feeling he's not had the dog that long. I don't know. He doesn't really go into it. But anyway. Right, so now we're going to meet David, played by O'Shea Jackson Jr. He's got his new sneakers on and he's just studying something. So he doesn't like his new clothes getting dirty or marked. This is, I've forgotten, is it Gabe? I'm going to have to look. Gabe, is it? That name rings a bell. Yes, Gabe, who is the son of Eddie, who is Alden Ehrenreich's character, which means he's the grandson of Sid, Ray Liotta's character. Anyway, so he's here at one of those kids' places where they're not supposed to be able to get hurt. Took my kid to one when he was little, 5, 6, something like that. And he managed to find the one part of the place that he could bang his head on and get a massive bloody duck egg on his forehead. Unbelievable. Anyway, so here they're talking about Ray Liotta. Sid White is telling David to go and find the drugs or it'll get the Colombians onto him. And we also learned that Gabe's mother, Eddie, his son's, not his, Ray Liotta's son's wife has passed away from cancer. She was called Joan or Joni. Anyway, so there we go. They're gonna tells him, go and find them drugs and take Eddie with you, he says. He says, Eddie's in mourning and he's quit. He says, well, Joni's the reason why he quit, but she's not around anymore and he needs this to take his mind off her, basically. And anyway, so, and then we cut to, here we go, Kerry Russell's house. She plays Sari, I don't know how to pronounce it. She's a nurse. But we don't see her doing any nurse stuff until the end of the film, really. But in that, they only say she's a nurse. But there was a scene, a deleted scene, that is on the Blu-ray, where she's seen in hospital doing nurse things, extracting a vacuum cleaner hose from some poor chap's bottom. And that's where we meet the ambulance people as well, the paramedics, because they're giggling and stuff while that happens. They should have kept that in the film, to be honest. But anyway. So here she's at home with her daughter, Dee Dee. Maybe she's named after Dexter's sister in Dexter's lab. I don't know. But remember, it's 1985, so we've got Madonna up on the wall and Duran Duran and whoever that is. I've been told who it is and I've forgotten. Anyway. So she's going to work because she's working nights or something. But anyway. Anywho. And also, apparently she's got a boyfriend. I don't know what's happened to husband, whatever, Dee Dee's father. I don't know, but she's got a boyfriend at work now. Billy Idol as well, Depeche Mode, Adamant. Don't know who that is. Anyway. So off she goes to work, right. Meanwhile, Alden Ehrenreich, Eddie, is drowning his sorrows in a bar, eating some pasta and drinking shots. And David goes in and tells him that, what his dad's told him, what they've got to go and get these drugs and stuff. They're just speaking about it openly in this bar. There's a chap listening in at the bar, which we'll see at some point. There he is, see him. He tells the police, he tells Officer Detective Bob what they're doing. He says, because we learn that some guy in a bar overheard two chaps talking about it. Anyway, right, so next day. Dee Dee's supposed to be going to school. I think Sari's in bed, because I think she's working night. She's like the 8 to whatever shift. So she's working night, so I think she's in bed. And Dee Dee's going off to school with her friend Henry. There he is. There with his Rocky belt, which is actually an actual, according to Elizabeth Banks, an actual Rocky belt that they got off Etsy. Because Henry is really into the Rocky films. 1, 2 and 3, because that's all we're up to so far in 1985. Which would have been a plot point for later on in the film, but it became a deleted scene, so this is kind of pointless showing this off here, but never mind. Anyway, he's saying like 1,000. She says how many, I don't know, how many weeks allowance is it? That? Like 1,000. But anyway, they're not going to school. They're bunking off school or skipping school or however you want to call it. They're going to go to the secret falls because she likes painting and stuff. She's got some paints in her backpack. But he forgets his. I don't know. What does he do here? Right. Why do I skip school with it? He's got his backpack on there, but he leaves it behind. And I don't know why. Because now we cut to I keep calling him Officer, Detective Bob. Anyway, so he's decided he's going. They're going to do the Thornton case, and then she's saying, you don't have jurisdiction in Georgia. He says, I'm going anyway. Look after me dog. He says, okay. Right. This is where he's telling him some guy in a bar overheard them speaking about it. So that's how he knows where they're going. Anyway. Right. So, here we go. Henry, can't believe I left the backpack. He had it on. When did he take it off? Maybe that's a deleted scene. I don't know. But now they're walking into the woods. son's blue backpack, but he's got his BB gun, which he never uses. But never mind. Here they are going past what looks like the Conjuring house, doesn't it? Anyway, so off they go. Bunking off school. Never caught me bunking off school. Anyway, so she's at home. She thinks her kid's at school. She's just about to settle down, and the phone rings. And so she's on the phone to her husband, boyfriend, Deedee's father. I don't really know, but anyway, saying, your daughter's bunking off school. Anyway, so she notices there we go, Henry's backpack in the back garden. When did he take it off, and why? Did he go for a pee or something? Or I don't know what he did, but anyway, he took it off for some reason. So she empties it all out. Luckily, in his backpack, he's got a map telling her exactly where they're going with a big red circle around Secret Falls. That was handy, wasn't it? When do kids ever do that? I don't know. They just said, let's go to Secret Falls. You wouldn't let's circle a thing on the map, would you? Anyway, that's where they're going. So she's going to go after them. So here we are now at a ranger station with Ranger, I think it's Liz. Yes, Ranger Liz, played by Margot Martindale. These are all super famous people in America, apparently. But she was in some TV show with other people. I've no idea, but she's a good comedy actress. She's playing Ranger Liz, putting the lipstick on. She's getting ready because a chap's coming that she likes. So anyway, anyway, she is jingling of the ranger station door because it's like a shop as well. And this is where we meet Vest, who is one of the Duchamp gang. Is it a gang? I don't know. There's three of them who go around causing trouble for tourists and hikers, mugging them and all that. And it has been stealing. But anyway, but she's waiting for Peter to arrive, who she's got the hots for. Anyway, here he comes in his Wayne's World car. Is it a Honda or something? I don't know what it is. Anyway, so here he comes. There he is. In a minute. Is he going to show him, for Christ's sake? There. Oh, for God's sake. This bloody skip on here. It just skips over there. There he is. There he is. Peter. Played by... I can't remember. Jesse Tyler Ferguson. I think he looks like Eddie Izzard for some reason. I don't know. Particularly later on. Is that a gremlin? What, behind him? Oh, on the wall. I don't know. That's like a beaver on the wall. That's a bear. Oh, there. That's some sort of bird. A hawk or an owl or something. I don't know. Anyway, she's got the hots for him and she flirts with him a lot. I don't know if he's got the hots for her as well. I don't know. But they are friends. And they're both into the countryside and all that stuff. Anyway, she boots out Vest. Meanwhile, Sari, so I'll just call her Kerry Russell. Kerry Russell. You may remember she was briefly in Rise of Palpatine, wasn't she? Star Wars, Rise of Palpatine. It's on her bike. She's got a racer. She's got a racer bike. They were popular in the 80s, I remember, when I was young. I never had a racer. I'm never really into bikes. I tended to borrow bikes off my mates, like choppers and stuff like that. Rally choppers. I meant the car. Oh, right, but it's a 1976 AMC Pacer. Okie dokie. Thought about the thing on the wall. Anyway, here she is in her pink jumpsuit. Elizabeth Banks put her in a pink jumpsuit because she thought it made her look like a superhero. Anyway. She's out looking for her daughter who's bunking off school. There they are, having a laugh because she says that sign looks like the two deers are doing stuff. What does this sign say? We have bear bins in place. Please use in order to protect our wildlife. And we'll see a bear bin in a minute. Oh, we might have seen it already. I don't know. There is a bin with a bear paw on. Henry's carving the initials into that tree. There it is. There's the bear bin. Be bear aware. Secure. I can't read that. Garbage required. Quest says, I had a racer once, but had an accident. The front tyre went into a drain grate and sent me flying. Never, ever again. They were lethal, weren't they? They were lethal. I have ridden them, but I've never held the bottom of the handlebars. I always held the top. Anyway. Anywho. So, here they are. Getting ready to go to the secret falls. Oh, and this is where she finds the cocaine. There it is. She finds some of the cocaine in the woods. And Henry's trying to make out he's this streetwise kid. He knows all about cocaine and how what to do with it. And anyway, so he's they're going to try it out. They're going to try it out. So she cuts it open and says, "What do we do with it?" He says, I don't know. We eat it. So they all eat a bit of cocaine. Obviously, they're not feeding kids cocaine in this film. Some of the producers wanted the kids to be older, because I'm showing them, not divulging, whatever. Eating. I can't think of the word. Ingesting cocaine. But Elizabeth Banks says, no, we don't want older kids. We want younger kids. They're supposed to be about 11, 12, something like that. Anyway, so obviously, I think it's supposed to be sugar. It's probably icing sugar or something like that in it. So they try it, and she says it's horrible. So he's got to try it, and he thinks it's horrible as well. So they're all laughing. But the bear's coming any minute. They're going to find another pack. And one of the colourful bags has been ripped open. And we're going to get glimpses of the bear. Well, that's more than a glimpse, but we'll get another glimpse in a minute. It's obviously got the munchies, hasn't it? So it's after that, those carrots that Dee Dee left there. Anyway, we see the bear. We see the bear behind it. Bear behind. I mean, in the background, rushing by. Where is it? In a horror film kind of way. Is it? Where is it? I think it's there. It is. Look, there we go. But then it comes out with a face full of cocaine, and then it sneezes on them, and sneezes cocaine all over them. So they scream and run off. Public servants announcement: sleeping bags are the soft tacos of the bear world. Yes, thankfully we don't have bears in the UK. Anyway, plus I don't go camping, so I'm not bothered. Can do what they want, even if we had bears. We used to, though, didn't we, back in the day? We used to have wolves and all sorts. Nothing more. Right, so anyway, here we are. David's on the phone to Sid in an American phone booth, but it's in Ireland because he like Irish vehicles. There's a road up there. Hang on, is that working? There's cars and stuff. Oh, there they are. There we go. There's cars. Apparently, they had trouble finding period-accurate cars for this film. And according to Elizabeth Banks, David's truck is not period-accurate. I don't know, but that's what she said. But they struggled. Maybe they shouldn't have filmed it in Ireland. I'm guessing they got a huge tax break or something. I don't know, but anyway. So there we go. Cagney's Caverns. Visit the original glory hole. Anyway, not that I know. Oh, not your granny's grotto. Open since 1955. Not that I know what a glory hole is, obviously. Anyway, so they're off again. See, he's been all sad, thinking about his wife. And anyway, so he's been all sad. This is one of the bits that is actually in Georgia, not in Ireland. In Chattahoochee. Is that a real place then? I have no idea. But right. So here she comes, saying, I'm looking for my daughter. She's bunked off school. Can you help me? They're going to a secret waterfall, thingamabob. So, anyway, so they're going to head out in that direction, and she's going to follow them and all that stuff. So off they go. She closes, there we go, she closes up the ranger station, and off they go, just as David and Eddie arrive. But anyway, off they go. It's where she's telling us about the Duchamps, the three kids. We've seen Vest already. There's also, I can't remember the names. I'm hopeless. Ponytail, I think that's his name. Hang on. Stash, Stash, Vest, and Ponytail. We're going to see them in a bit. This is where she's saying, the where are we? The cut people with knives, been attacking hikers, cut them with knives. We learned that they also, the mug 'em and all that stuff. Obviously, because she's shut up the station, obviously the toilets are still open, so David's gone into the toilet, and they're going to try and mug him. They say, empty your pockets, and obviously he's not going to. He makes short work of them. They come at him with a knife, and he fights them all off in no time at all. But he gets stabbed for his troubles, as we'll see in a minute. Oh, for Pete's sake, there we go. There we go, we see he's been stabbed. But he's fine, don't worry. Anyway. Right, so we're at this fork in the road now, and they said, which way should we go? Because both ways lead to the secret falls. They decide to go on the right-hand side, and later on we'll see David and Eddie go the other way. But they all end up at the same place eventually. But anyway, off they go. Meanwhile, he's sorting himself out. Eddie comes in. What happened? They attacked me. Have you killed them? Says, well, one of them, the woman that stabbed me, might be dead. Turns out they're not. They're all okay. They're just knocked out. There we go. They're going to wake him up. I hope that's just water. Anyway. Oh, right. They had some of the drugs on them. There we go. See, they had a pack of the drugs. So we know that they've found that at least one of the bags. So he's asking him where the bag is of drugs. And he's saying, I'm not going to tell you. So he tells Eddie to go and get the gun out of the car. So, anyway. So he tells him. So he says, well, I'll take you there. It's at a gazebo. So anyway, so they're going to head out to the gazebo. Meanwhile, Detective Bob is on the way. Stopping at the same place that the other stopped at. He's checking on his dog. She's fine. Anyway. Right. So, Kerry Russell's now here. She finds what's left of the carrot sticks. This was an extended scene that got cut down a bit. There were a bit more of Ranger Liz and Peter flirting with each other and all that. And you can see she's very flirty with him. And it was very amusing. There were a lot of improvisation. I remembered that word. I usually forget that word. A lot of improvisation going on. But then they hear a kid calling out, and it's Henry. He's up that tree. So what are you doing up there? A bear chased us up, and he's swearing and stuff like that. They say, sorry for cussing. It attacked me and Dee Dee, and Dee Dee ran off. She must have been running really fast. Maybe did the bear go after her or just ignore it? I don't know, because later on we find out Dee Dee's in the bear's cave. I don't know how that happened, but anyway. But he doesn't want to come down. But before he gets a chance, the bear arrives and it drags these two off into the undergrowth. She hides. Oh, hang on. Peter's getting dragged off. Oh, well, it would be. If it showed it, she starts shooting. She's the worst shot in the world. We'll see another example of that in a bit. But she's shooting. So why are you shooting at me? She says, stay down. Obviously, she doesn't shoot the bear. Peter ends up with his face and everything all covered in cocaine because he's found more of it there. And the bear comes and gets Ranger Liz. But don't worry, she's not dead. She just gets a slashed bottom. Here we go. There, I'm trying to see. There we go. Gets her and throws her about. It's that sort of stunt woman who was the stunt woman for. Oh, I wish I could remember her name. In my audio commentary, I couldn't remember the name of the actress that she was. Another large actress. I forgot her name. She was a comedian. Anyway, whatever. So the stunt woman standing for her. Anyway, she's not dead. She's just got an injured bottom. There we go. Or upper thigh, whatever. She says, I'll go get help. So she goes staggering off. Peter climbs the other tree, and he says, "Can bears climb trees?" And says, "Yes, of course you can." Says, "Then why are we up a tree?" But anyway, Sarah's still hiding. But the bear comes. She looks round there. There's the bear. And he starts climbing the tree to try and get Peter. By the way, they're actually up trees, these two actors. They're in harnesses and all that. And they've got pads. The actor that plays Peter says, I we're up this tree with a harness on. He actually had knee pads on as well, which they CG'd out. But he's CG'd his actual knees in. But he said there was little thin pads under the tree in case something went wrong. And he says that didn't fill me with confidence, but he was fine. But they're actually up there in harnesses and all that. And the bear climbs the tree, tries to get Peter. He climbs up a bit higher, gives it a good old kick for good measure, but then it gets a whiff of all the cocaine that's on Peter. There we go, it's getting a whiff, look. And in the original script, it was just supposed to jump from this tree to that tree. And I thought, well, no, because that's a bit silly. I think it'd be more interesting if it just ran down the tree and ran up the other tree. So that's what it did. So down it goes, there we go, and up the other tree in no time at all. But and this is the end of poor Peter. It just gets him. Look, it's eating his knee pads and everything. But look, poor Peter. So that's the end. Bit of practical gore. So Henry climbs down, and they run off because they can't do anything for Peter. There we go. Peter falls out of the tree and gets hit in the head, I think, with his leg. Oh, no, in the chest. And then the bear comes down, and I like this bit. Because it snorts a line of coke off Peter's leg. How does it know to do that? I don't know, but that's what it did. Anyway, so they're hiding. He was saying, "We found cocaine." Oh, that's her name, Mrs. McKendry. Anyway, so they've still got to go and find Dee Dee. Anyway, Ranger Liz gets back to the ranger station, finds Vest and Ponytail there, all beaten up, and they think that the same thing's happened to her. They think she's encountered David and Eddie. But anyway, obviously not. She gets some more bullets out. We see that they've robbed her. They've smashed the padlock off the money box and stuff, and they've robbed her. So she pulls a gun out on them. Then there's a noise at the door, and they think it's David and Eddie, but she thinks but they're not saying that. She thinks it's the bear, but they're not saying that to each other. Saying, "Open the door, and then I'll shoot it." So they open the door, and it's the bear. And he goes, "That's a bear." And then she's the worst shot ever, because she's aiming here, and then she does a Han Solo off, George Lucas's faffed about, hand shot first thing. And look, this blows his brains out accidentally. Poor bear gets a face full of Ponytail's brains. Anyway, so he's dead. He says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it." But anyway, so they close the door. The bear climbs up on the roof. There we go, they're watching it. They can hear it climbing up across the roof, and then it gets poor Vest through the door. Freddy Krueger style. There we go. And then we cut away now, because we're going to see the aftermath later on. Right, so here they are, heading to the gazebo. There we go. Detective Bob arrives. Just sees that the station's it's still got the close sign. He doesn't notice anything else. Uses the trash can. That's about it, really. And then he carries on. I think he just heads off into the woods. Anyway, right. So they're hopefully on the trail of Dee Dee, and they find a rock with all red stuff on. So So, oh no! But it turns out it's paint, because remember she wanted to go and paint the waterfall. So she's leaving paint trails for them and stuff. So they're following the paint. Anyway, he's asking a question about what will happen to the bear if it takes cocaine. In real life, the bear died probably quite quickly. Because it had like 20 pounds of cocaine or something like that. It had a lot of cocaine in its system, didn't it? They say it probably died of an aneurysm or heart failure pretty quickly. Although it wasn't found for months, but anyway. And it didn't kill anybody as far as anybody knows. Anyway, the ambulance arrives because we'd learned from Ranger Liz and Vest that not Vest, Ponytail, that they'd called an ambulance. So here come the paramedics. Beth and I can't remember their names. Beth and Tom, I do believe. I think. Yeah. Beth and Tom. So they are backing up. They can't get in because Ponytail's body's blocking the way, so they're trying to get in. So I thought they phoned up and said they had a concussion. He's been shot. So I don't know what's going on. But then they find Ranger Liz basically ligged out, not looking well, and she's just going bah 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 bah, and she uses a stethoscope to listen to her heart, and then we just hear this bah, 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 for the rest of the scene. Because he's going to look in this door, because he sees blood under this door. So he opens it up, and we see what happened. Pardon me, to Vest. Let me finish my coffee. Just to make sure I burp a bit more. We find out what happened to Vest. Oh, for Pete's sake, bloody skip. Here we go. How's he going to show it? We'll do it in a minute. Yeah, there we go. Just bottom half him with his guts out on his hand. And his head in a bucket. Did the bear put his head in that bucket? Or did it just fall in there? I don't know. But and then we see the bear in the background. There we go. In the shadows. I should have really done this for a Friday Night Apart with Fear. But it's a comedy, so I don't know. But anyway. So he shuts the door. And then she goes into the stethoscope. She goes, bear. And then the bear just bursts out. Here it comes. He goes, bear. There we go. The bear bursts through the door. And he's standing on him. When they filmed this, the door was like held up with, stanchions, whatever, I don't know. So it wouldn't crush him in real life. And the actor that played the bear, Alan Henry, were actually jumping up and down on it. And the special effects guys squirted vegan bear drool onto the actor. They said it had to be vegan because they didn't know if the actor were vegan or not. So they thought, we'll just play it safe and we'll make the bear drool vegan. So I don't know what it was made of. But anyway. But Beth and Ranger Liz head out to the ambulance. There we go. And he's stuck under the door. And the bear's drooling all over him. But he whacks it. Oh, there she put her on a gurney. Still with a gun in her hand. He whacks it with his bag. In a minute. There we go. Boink. And it sees the bag. The bear's seen colour. I don't know. Maybe it's the shape. I've no idea. But it must think it's one of the drug bags. Because it gets curious and it goes and goes over. Look, there's a cartoon. Hang on, I missed it. Where is it? Oh, no, it might not be that. It looked a bit cartoony. Maybe it's later. And goes over there, and she sets off because he comes running out saying "Go!" And so she sets off before he's got in. So he's running after. Oh, for Pete's sake, I'm too far. There we go. So he goes running after her. Turns into a stuntman that looks nothing like the other actor. Never mind. Anyway, so now here comes the scene that in the script, when Elizabeth Banks got the script, She said, this is the scene that made me want to do this, because she says it's like doing Fast and the Furious, but instead of a car, it's a bear. So they're getting chased by the bear. Here it is, racing down the street after them, or the road. And it jumps into the back of the ambulance. Here it goes. It's in the back of the ambulance. Gets, I forgot his name. Scott, Tom, innit? And poor Angel she comes out the back of the ambulance, scrapes her face on the road. You see all the blood and that. I don't think she's dead. In my head canon, she's not dead, because there were an alternative ending, which you can see on the Blu-ray, which shows Angel with a bandage on the side of her face, getting ready to go out and get revenge. She's got a shotgun and stuff, and says, I'm going to make you pay for my Peter. So, but they didn't use that. That was an alternative ending. So I don't think she's dead. But for all intents and purposes, that is the end of Ranger Liz. And this is the end of the paramedics, because she's going to crash the ambulance now, because she's not watching where she's going. There we go. She's getting covered in blood as the bear rips poor Tom. Is it Tom? I can never bloody remember. Yes, rips poor Tom apart. That bear had that fiend face. Okie dokie. I don't know what that means. Anyway. And there we go. She's going to crash the ambulance, and she goes. She didn't wear a seatbelt. So that's why that happens. So Beth is no more. And the bear just heads out and strolls by. There we go. Strolls by. I think she's still alive myself, because she closes her eyes here. Look, her eyes change. Look, she closed her eyes. I think she's just playing dead. She's playing dead. So I think she's going to be okay. Because we come back to it at the end of the film. Don't see her alive or anything, but we come back to that area at the end of the film. Anyway, they're still heading to the gazebo in through the lovely County Dublin countryside. That's where the woods are. It says County Dublin. Anyway, yes, he has this little thing where he's saying, we're all going to go to New York. That's my team. We plan on moving to New York City together. Then there's this little, what if in his head. But how does he know that they're dead? I don't know. Look, you see he's been shot. He's got his head in his... He doesn't know, does he? He'd buggered off. Anyway, never mind. It's a comedy. It doesn't matter. And then they have a little hug, because Alden Ehrenreich, Eddie, is a nice guy in this film, and he likes hugging people. Anyway, right, Detective Bob arrives at the gazebo and finds the drugs. There they are, up on top. So he's got to find a way up there, which he does next time we see him. But, unbeknownst to the others, Sid's arrived, Sid White, Ray Liotta, with a rifle. Anyway, he goes in, looks up to see where the drugs were. He comes back out to tell David, they're not there. I don't know what's happened. And so he's going to shoot him. But then Detective Bob says, put that gun down, and all that. And he ends up shooting him. I like how, where is it? Like how, I forgot his name now. Stash. I like how Stash has his arm straight up. Anyway. By the way, all the Duchamp actors are all Irish actors. I think they're the only Irish actors in the film, I think. Maybe. I don't know. But they're all Irish actors putting on American accents. Are they good American accents? I have no idea. But anyway. Anyway, so he's looking for a way to get down. He can't work it out. And he goes for his gun. Does David. So Detective Bob shoots at him. And it's either he's shot 2 of his fingers off. There we go. His little finger and his middle finger. I don't know how he managed that. And even Stash says, there we go. What does he say? How did he take those 2 fingers off? They're not even next to each other. I don't know. It's one of those weird quirks of fate. Anyway, he says, can you grab my fingers for me? So Eddie puts David's fingers in his coat pocket and we'll come back to them later. Anywho, he says, they ask how he got up there because he can't find a way down. He said, how did you get up there? He said, I climbed up that tree and jumped over and hurt my hip. But there doesn't seem to be any trees really that close. Anyway, I think they're still following the paint trail, yes, to Dee Dee. But they get to a river. There we go, and they see Dee Dee's jumper, sweater, whatever you want to call it, over on to the side of the river. I want to make sure, actually, that we're still going and we're still okay. Just bear with me. Hang on, I'll mute myself a minute while I just check this. Like how, where is it? Like how, I forgot his name now. It's fine. It's fine. Make sure no messages on our Rumble. Make sure. No, we haven't. Right, get rid of that. Right, where were we? Yes, they've seen Dee Dee's sweater on the other side of the river. Now, this was another deleted scene that they just skipped entirely over, and it matched. Remember, we saw his Rocky belt that he'd got. It was all to do with that. It doesn't like water, and there we go. It doesn't like water, so he says, "I'm not going in any water of any depth without water wings." He says, "Does Henry?" Did I say Peter before? Henry, I meant. It says Henry. So Kerry Russell goes to a trash can, rubbish bin, whatever you want to call it, empties it out, and luckily there's like 3 empty, the big milk bottle things, the plastic milk bottles with a handle. Those. Luckily there's 2 of those and another big clear plastic bottle. So she ties those to him, and they go walking across. You can see it's not deep anyway, and did they CG him out? I don't know. Or did they do a take without them? I don't know. But they walk across, and to take his mind off it, she asks him about the Rocky films, his belt and all that. So he tells, as they're going across, he tells her all about Rocky 1, 2, and 3, and that a 4th one's coming up, and he can't wait to see that. He'll be surprised, won't he, when he sees what happens to Apollo Creed? But anyway, so there we go. But they cut all that out. They just went across the river. Right, so, here we see that Dee Dee's in the cave, look. Dee Dee groans. But she happens to be in the bear's cave. Did the bear take her there? I've no idea. But anyway. So they're all talking about, they're all going to prison and all that stuff. But the bear's arriving, look. In the commentary said, is this the only bear in these woods? Are bears that territorial? I don't know. Do the bear huge territories? I don't know. And where's Daddy Bear? No idea. As I said, saving Daddy Bear maybe for the sequel. Right, so the bear arrives. Here it is, snuffling round. Not very observant. Doesn't see David for some reason. Doesn't pay much attention to them two either. It's kind of, I don't know if it's tripping out or what, I don't know, but it doesn't look well. It's like staggering about a bit, and its eyes are twitching and stuff. It is quite amusing, I must admit. There you can see it there. Look, its eyes are like twitching, and it's not looking well. Is this bear? And it just turns, walks round, and just flops down on top of Eddie. Why? I've no idea. It's amusing. And just goes to sleep. They think it might be dead. Why didn't they just shoot it in the head? I have no idea. Just be done with it, but they don't. Anyway, but he's all right. He's underneath going, "Oh, I'm all right. Oh, cracker." Anyway. Meanwhile, Kerry Russell and Henry find Olaf/Christopher, who's mourning the murder, I suppose, of his wife. Saying a demon bear attacked her, and she's saying, "Oh, the demon bear attacked my daughter. Where's it gone?" So he takes them to where the demon bear lives. Right, so shall we call a truce while we deal with this bear? So I said, okay. So they've got to find a way to get the bear off. I forgot his name. Eddie, off Eddie. But anyway, while he's doing this, he's going to show it. While he's leaning over the bear, see, I've missed it. Look, while he's leaning over the bear, the pack of, he must have had it in his back pocket or something. The pack of the drugs falls out of his pocket. Is it going to show it? Where is it? There it is. Look, there it is. It falls out of his back pocket, and somehow the bear can sniff it because we see its eyes open here. Look. By the way, Wetter Digital did all the the bear effects. I think they look really good. Anyway, the bear wakes up and it doesn't attack him or anything. It just wants the drugs, so it eats them, wolfs them down, bears them down, whatever. There we go. And then decides it wants to dance with Eddie. And go look, it shuffles its way up to him. It's just stupid. It doesn't hurt him. He just wants to dance with him. It's being all nice. It's not hurting him at all. But anyway, starts jumping about on him. It'd kill him. It'd crush him, wouldn't it? Break his ribs and everything. But anyway, Bob distracts it with some of the drugs. There we go. Throws the drugs out. There we go. And Stash is going, it's like cocaine Christmas. Anyway, and then he throws another one, and the bear goes after it. And so there's, you run. He says, I can't go. That bag's worth 14 million. And they're threatening to shoot him. And Eddie's saying, come on, let's just go. And as they're waiting, hang on. As we're waiting, we see that Bob gets shot. Oh no, but not by David. There we go. It were Ray Otter, Sid, that shot him. So they go running off after Stash, I imagine. Does the bear come back? Yes, the bear comes back and takes the bag of drugs. Anyway, so they come across Ray Liotta, Sid. They're saying, we've got to get those drugs. They're going to, if we don't get it, the Colombians will come after me and my family, which means, your family as well. So, we've got no choice. So they go back, but the bag's gone. And Bob's dying up on the gazebo. And then Reba comes. It turns out she's the reason that Sid knew where they were. Is she working for him? Did he pay her? Did he threaten her family? I've no idea. I don't think it says. She just says, I'm sorry. And he says, oh, you've betrayed us all and all that. But as far as I know, she doesn't get any comeuppance in the film. I don't get it. But anyway, so he's asking how his dog is. He says, your dog's fine. It's in the car. And then his last memory is of his beloved dog. And there you go, she's a good girl. And he tells them where the bear went. Pardon me. And so off they go, and Bob dies up on top of the gazebo. I'm guessing they get him at some point. I don't know, but anyway. That bear's heart would have exploded by now. Yes, well, it did in real life, didn't it? It did in real life. Anywho, here's the bear taking its drugs back to its family. They've arrived at the cave. When we get here and we get to the waterfall, the secret waterfall, according to Elizabeth Banks, there was an actual waterfall, apparently just round the corner or just near here. But I don't think it's the waterfall that we see in the film. But they said there was an actual waterfall and they had trouble with the audio and stuff. So I'm guessing, this were all the audio, dialogue and that for this scene were looped because you could probably hear the shh of the waterfall somewhere. But it's just off screen apparently. But anyway, but they found the cave. This is the entrance to the cave. He's talking about they would have had a son and his name would be Texas. But anyway, so there you go. She gets a torch, a flashlight off him. It says, have you got a flashlight? And he gives her a flashlight. So they go into the cave, looking for her daughter. There's another bag. Don't know how many of them there is. There were quite a lot in that plane, weren't there? So that bear's got a lot of collecting to do. Anyway, so you're there in the cave. They're going to find another bag, but there's the cubs, the bear cubs. There they are, also enjoying the cocaine. But they also find Edie. She says they're harmless, but she's got a hurt leg, and Henry gives it a good prod because he's a kid. Anyway, so they're all happy that they've reunited, but they hear a noise and think, "Oh, Mummy Bear's coming back," but it's not. It's the bad guys. Anyway, they go through that. They come out to they come out of here into this waterfall, which looks very, doesn't look. I don't think that's a real waterfall, is it? Anyway, so they come out there. They say, "Where are we going to go now? We don't know where we're going." But anyway, Sid and David and Eddie arrive. He's doing well in this. He's had 2 fingers shot off. I'd have had more than just my t-shirt or my whatever is wrapped round. I don't know. Some sort of tourniquet should have been applied, shouldn't it? It'd be bleeding out. That'd be covered in blood, wouldn't it? Anyway, whatever. Based on a true story. We get they say, we should get out of here. Remember what we found with that hiker, and actually found Olaf/Christopher's body with his face eaten off. So he got by the bear. Anyway, because he's getting cold, is David. So Eddie gives him his coat. Remember, he's got the fingers, David's fingers in his pocket for later. Right, so they get in the cave. They find the bag that the cubs had been snuffling through. So they pick that up and says, "Right, we can go now." He says, "No, there's going to be more bags somewhere." But Reba says, "No, we're done. I'm going." And he threatens to shoot her. But they stand in the way, and off she goes. She just walks out. We do see her again later, but no consequence. Maybe she's going to give herself in. I don't know. Maybe it says that in the film. I just missed it. We'll see, won't we? Anyway, so the cubs are kind of there and messing about with Henry. And but anyway, the bad guys come out. There we go. Said, "We're here for that bag." And she said, I just want to take my kids home. But he said, "I'm not leaving without that cocaine," because Sid is the real bad guy in this film. So Eddie tries to get it, but he can't reach. Sid kicks one of the cubs. I'm guessing Mother heard it. He tells Eddie to shoot the bear, shoot the cubs. He won't, so he puts the gun down. And for some reason, he throws the rifle, thinking that David's going to catch it, the fellow that's got 2 fingers missing. But Kerry Russell catches it and aims it at him. They're all, "Oh, Mama's like Rambo." But anyway. And then Henry has this little speech about how Sid's a piece of crap person and you're a bad dad. But anyway. So and then he Sid had said to Eddie, "You're no son of mine." So anyway. So here comes Mum. Here she is. Here comes Mum, roaring. So she's going to come down. They're going to jump off into the water now. Look, she's roaring down. She's protecting her cubs, so they jump into the water. There they go. Whee! And Mum's coming down, and Eddie and David jump in as well. Think, sod it, we're going. And hang on, I've missed a bit. But Mum comes down. But he picks up the gun that Eddie put down and he shoots Mum. It shot David as well. Sort of like in the clavicle area. But then he shoots Mum as well and she falls down. Don't worry, she's gonna. She falls, lands on a ledge. They'd fallen in the water. She's on this ledge. Is she dead? No, because she's gonna do a Popeye in a minute. Poor cubs are looking. What's happened to Mum? So he's going to get his bag. Gets the bag of cocaine. One of the things falls out with cocaine, and there we go. All explodes. And it's dead stupid. And the bear breathes it in, look. And then the eyes open. And should have should have played the Popeye music, shouldn't have? And all that stuff. So he gets the bag. But she comes climbing back up because she's an infusion of cocaine, and she spits the bullet out that she's just been shot with. Did she just dig it out with her teeth wherever he shot her, or has it just like passed through and she's regurgitated it? I have no idea, but whatever. And basically, she gets him. There we go. She slashes his guts. There we go. It's like a raptor, and there we go. And now he's going to get eaten by the babies, and then she tips him over, and down he goes. Hang on, I missed a bit. There you go. She tips him over the edge. Down he goes. So that's the end of Sid. Bit, I didn't know what to feel when I watched it, knowing this was Ray Liotta's last film and his last scene. He gets brutally killed by a bear. Thank goodness that didn't happen in real life to him, innit it? But anyway, so the little bear family have got their drugs. Look, roaring. And Ray Liotta, who's the real bad guy in the film, is dead. Now, O'Shea, it is O'Shea, isn't it? O'Shea Jackson's character, David, was supposed to die. He died in the original script here, but he said to Elizabeth Banks, says, I don't want my character to die, because the black men always die in the films. They don't do that, that's a lie. So I'd rather he didn't die. Would that be possible? She said, yeah, fine, he doesn't have to die. So he doesn't. So Kerry Russell, because she's a nurse, she comes over. That way saying 6 more days of John is that tattoo that says John. That was supposed to say Joan, but the tattoo's got it wrong. He had to wait a week before he could get it fixed. So he's got 6 more days. There we go. You're my friend, you're my best friend. They are reformed characters now. They're no longer bad guys. And anyway, so she comes over and they say, she's a nurse. So he says, he's in shock, put pressure on it. And then we pan up, and then there's a dissolve into next morning. And they've arrived back at the ranger station. Reba is there. We see, where is she? We'll see her in a minute. There we go. She gives the dog to Eddie. What did she say? I don't know. What was our last words? I have no idea. Is she going to say something? The dog comes running over. Oh, her name's Rosette. She doesn't like fetch. Does she say something? Oh, Reba says, I've called back up. So is she going to give herself in? I don't know. But she tells them to get going. So is she going to hang around and give herself up? I don't know. Because we never see. They drive off with the dog and his fingers in his pocket. They head back home, go past, there we go. Poor Ranger Liz. I don't think to check, she might be alive. I think she's still alive under there. It just says, don't look. Then police arrive and another ambulance. So I'm guessing, this other ambulance checks out Ranger Liz and she's fine, albeit a bit scraped. There, and then we could have the alternate ending where she's getting ready. Just shows her shooting various animals and not bears. But anyway, but then we cut to there we go, more unseen tourists photographing this family of bears. I don't know who does the voices. Does it say? What does it say? Rodney and Carol. Does it say? It doesn't say who's done the voices at the end. I just wondered if it was somebody famous. I don't know, but it doesn't say. Which is Pooh. By the way, the dog. Remember the dog earlier on we called New York, Rosette. The one we saw earlier when New York. The one at the end of the film were a different dog. Don't know why. called Paris. I'm guessing they're owned by the same people. Yeah, Liz should be alive. She's alive in my heart. And in the alternate ending. Anyway, they're filming this family of bears, thinking, oh, it's cool. But then the bears see them and snarl at them. Why are they looking at us like that? Oh, shit. And that's the end, except it's not. Because it's in loving memory of Ray Liotta. But we get a couple of mid-credit scenes. There we go. Stash hitchhiking to New York City with the bag of drugs. Look, one of the bags of drugs on an Irish road. I'm guessing that's probably, I reckon they're CG lines because we don't have that sort of stuff over in the British Isles. Those sorts of lines. So anyway, so he's gonna he's off to New York City. I'm guessing this truck full of sheep is not heading to New York. But anyway, off he goes. A bit more credits, and then we get another one where Eddie and David arrive at where Gabe is, where his son is. He's reunited with his son. Hang on, where is he? Here we go. He's reunited with his son, and David brings in Rosette, and they say, "What's she eating?" And then he checks his pocket. She's eating his fingers. Anyway. You have no lines at all. Yes, we have lines, just different ones to what you have. A different design of lines, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so he says, oh, well, they weren't going to put them back on anyway, and then that's the end of the film. They have all this paint, because remember, Dee Dee were an artist, so they're showing loads of paint. So there we go. And that's the end of Cocaine Bear, which I think is a real fun film. One of those films where you think that was a lot better than it had every right to be. So there we go. She did a good job, did Elizabeth Banks. I've not seen her Charlie's Angels film. I've heard it's rubbish. But anyway, so there we go. So I'll just double check and make sure there isn't anything at the end. I don't think there is. We hear the bear snorting at the end. We'll have a listen. In a minute. There we go. Bear snorts, and that's it. That's the end. So there we go. Yeah, it is a good film. I do like it. I do like it, and the effects are good. I think the majority of the money, the $30 million budget, probably went on the CG of the bear. Went to Weta Digital, didn't it? But anyway, I'm trying to find a shot of the bear or a good one. Probably not going to find one, am I? Never mind, doesn't matter. So there we go. So that's that. So yeah, will there be a sequel? Apparently, I forgot his name. Matthew Rhys, who played Andrew Thornton, wants to do a prequel about Andrew, the real life Andrew C. Thornton II, about the lead up to Cocaine Bear. And I thought, well, that'll just be like a crime thing, won't it? There'll be no cocaine bear monsters in that, will there? As far as we know, but anyway. Poor Ray Liotta, his last film. At least it were a good one. At least it were a good film. So there we go. But I'm sure there are people who hate this film. I'm sure there are. Anyway, right, we'll leave it there. We're all done and dusted for another week. Right. So what's coming up next? What day? On Monday, Wednesday. I'm not sure what's happening on Wednesday. I may finish season 1 of Voyager. I'm not sure. I'm about halfway through. It's a short season, so I might finish it. We'll see. It depends. I'll try. Otherwise, I think we'll be doing top 5 favourite movies of 2000. We're almost entering the 21st century. Crikey. That'll be on Wednesday. And on Friday, never put it. Don't know where I put it. Oh, there. On Friday, for Friday Night Apart with Fear. Is it a horror film? Is it a sci-fi film? I've not had sci-fi, horror, thriller, chiller. I don't know. Anyway, we're doing The Box, starring Cameron Diaz and James Marsden. Don't sound right. Whatever. Him and Frank Langella. Really good film. I really like this film. It's a good sci-fi, horror-ish. Chiller, I suppose you could say. From David Kelly. So that's that. And next week, for next Magnificent Mondays. We're doing Under Siege. Yay! I'm not doing a double bill. Not doing Under Siege 2 as well. But we'll see. No. So that'll be fun. So there we go. So I'll leave it there. So thanks, Justin. Who else do we have? Justin and Snorterpoopus, Cube Quest, and I think Outcast Creative. There we go, Outcast Creative. Thanks for keeping me company while I waffle on about Cocaine Bear. As I said, you can get the Blu-ray, probably DVD as well. It is available on YouTube and to rent or buy or whatever, and Amazon and probably other places as well. It is well worth a look. Right, and as I said, I've done my unofficial audio commentary, and I'll get that uploaded for members on the YouTube channel. Probably tomorrow. Right, so we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching, and wherever you are, look after each other, and until next time, I'll say they. Never put it. Oh, it's there.